Right. I think I'm live. Well, don't be shush. I'm going to do the usual thing where I just sit here quietly and just wait to see if anyone turns up. Because it's a better thing to do. I mean, I do have this to open. So maybe I should just get on with that. Maybe I should. Maybe I will. And I'm pouring it into this, which is amazing. I also have this, which I'm not going to eat. Just a big parcel. What could be in there, I wonder? It is a mystery. Yeah, so we'll just wait, see what happens. And then I'm just going to crack on anyway, because why not? It's nice here, isn't it? Do you like the pictures? Do you like those? Bit weird. This one is from The Lost Boys, 80s film. That one is called all kinds of 80s references. It's very cool. Shall I do a sing and song and dance? Da, 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 da. Always find it weird sitting on here, looking at myself, looking at me. It's very strange. It's very, very strange. Boom, boom, boom. Anyway, it's. I mean, come on. This is the 21st one of these I've done. Is it the 21st? Did I do one for my first book? I don't even know that I did. Did I? Ah, yeah, it is. Right. I don't know why. So I'm live. Hello, everyone, by the way. That was a terrible beginning. For some reason, Facebook is not communicating well. I'm seeing 0 comments on my laptop. But if I look at my phone, I'm seeing comments. And I've got 5 comments. I've got 7 people here. Facebook is not communicating well. Which is really weird. I don't know what's going on. So I've got, this is really nice. So we'll start. We've got Thor, Seb, Ibs, lives there and 12 others. So we've got loads of people. Ellen Ormond, Eileen Ormond. That's grand. Terry Huxtep. Hi, Terry. Barbara's here. Anne's here. Jan's here. Cheryl's here. John's here. Myra, Rosemary. Brilliant. People, I give up on me and tech. I'm not doing anything that's wrong because it's. Anyway, I will take comments on here. Hello. And we'll see how we do. So let's crack on, shall we? Right. We're here to celebrate something, clearly, which is book 21. And I was like, does that mean the Grimm series has come of age? It does, doesn't it? 21 books in 5 years. Seems ridiculous. And if you think of all the short stories as well and the extra stuff that I've done, and now I've got the Gordy series, it's pretty mad. Where have those 5 years gone? I'm a lot greyer than when this started, I have to say. Much, much greyer. Still dashing though. But anyway, to celebrate, I always have to do some food thing. I haven't got any cheese and cake this time because I thought this beer demanded just some solitary on its own kind of enjoyment. So I'm just going to pour this into this Wensleydale beer into a Wensleydale glass. You're having a laugh. I'm not. I'm just going to do it because I'm that kind of guy. This is a nitro one. Nitro stout. I think you just pour these, don't you? I don't know. Anyway, there we go. It's a nice thick beer. I just didn't fancy cake and cheese with it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. There we go. Nearly finished. Da, 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 da. I always wonder, does anyone out there who's watching these ever do the same? Get a beer in? Probably not. There was a random rumour that Mandy might be watching this. Where's Mandy? Is she here? Mandy? Mandy? Where are you? Where have you gone? Who knows? Anyway, here we go. This is Dark Horizon Nitro Stout. Rich, smooth stout brewed in Yorkshire Dales. Chin chin. Here's to book 21. And also here's to you lot for making that happen. It's quite ridiculous. I mean, the mad thing is, this is the 21st book and the pre-sales for this more than the previous book. So it's still really successful. People still really like it. I mean, it's incredible. Shut up, Dave, and drink. Okay, I can do that. Oh, that's a dark night of the beer, isn't it? It's a good title for a beer, actually. Oh, so that's a very good title for a beer. That's beautiful. So, Miles, new lot at Wensleydale Brewery. Cracking. Love this one. That's really nice. Fantastic. Right. Let me just check something. This is all very confusing. Anyway, I have a reveal to do. I managed to get advanced copies. It's very exciting. Here we go. Ta-da! Bad Deeds. Book 21, look, it even says it on the cover. Book 21. It even says it on the spine. 21. 21. I don't even know how that's actually possible. And I put these all, I've got a little writing cabin now, and I put them all together. It's like this many books. And if you think 21 is an average of 80,000 words, that's a lot of words. Like over 1.5 million words, really, in 5 years, plus all the other words. It's crazy. But yeah, there we go. Once again, the silhouette of the mystery man. Is it Harry? Who knows? No idea. Anyway, there he is, walking down here, looking at that. And we go, Bad Deeds. Yeah, and on this, some of you have maybe seen the newsletter we sent out. You can now get this. I released this just a little bit early, not released it. It's now available to order, so that when it turns up, it should arrive kind of at the weekend. Fingers crossed, so that it's with you for release day. Because what I find irritating about the way I have to do this is that everyone who orders the ebook, which is the official release thing, on the 31st of this month, as soon as it's the 31st, you get the book, don't you? It just downloads, it appears with some kind of, angelic voice and choral thing. But the people who have the paperback, they're like, we want the book. Where is the book? Give me the book. So I did it so that this would release today on Amazon, so it's available to order. So the official launch date is Sunday. It's very complicated. I'm very sorry. The official launch date is Sunday, and this is now available to buy so that you can then have this turn up before Sunday and read it at the same time as everyone doing the ebook thing. So I'm trying to make that work. Hopefully it works slightly better than my explanation, which was rubbish. So there you go. That's the book. Hope you enjoy it. I've even put the little logo in this time. Look. Ooh, posh. I like that. Dedication. That's for the person who doesn't know that it's dedicated to them yet to find out. Not you lot. And then, yes, chapter 1 there, beginning with Barnaby Shaw. Who's he, we wonder? And then there's things at the back. I mean, there's this amazing photo. Look. What a dashingly handsome young man. Right, I'll put that there. So, that's the hello. I've opened the beer. I've done the reveal. So, yeah, Bad Deeds. Where did it come from? Well, I've said it in Muka. It sort of begins in Muka and it's set around Muka, which is in Swaledale. And I do love Swaledale. I really do love it up there. And obviously we've had stories set in Reeth, with places exploding and people being chased across the green, all that kind of stuff. But I hadn't set anything in Muka. And I've been to Muka a few times. It's one of those little villages you can almost miss. You kind of just drive through it and go, did you see a village? It is a mystery. But if you stop, it's really lovely. And it just sort of disappears out the back into these little lanes. And there's lovely little lanes down through the fields and off into the hills. It's truly beautiful. And the house is just stunning. And so stop there, which is what I did. And there's a really amazing pub, community owned, outstanding. Does chicken in the basket. Chicken in a basket. Is it 1978? Yes. And it's brilliant. Chicken in a basket, scampi in a basket. Absolutely fantastic. Really good value. Fabulous range of beers. Really bloody lovely pub. There's a fantastic art gallery. I didn't buy these from there. These are from somewhere else. I've got a few pieces, though, from the art gallery in Muka that are all Dales based. They're really lovely as well. And that's a beautiful little place to go pop into. There's a cafe, which I think is maybe where I got my idea from. But anyway, that's where the story is set, in Muka. That's where it sort of begins. And then it sort of obviously migrates out across the Dale as the story develops. It's a nice one. It's a bit weird. I didn't even know where this was, where it came from, really. It was just, I fancy doing something a bit different. I always try and make this book slightly different to the last one, so that like not all the crimes are the same or whatever. It's really difficult, but I seem to still be able to do it, and I hope you still like it. I had an awful lot of fun writing this one. It was a lot of fun. The ending, I was I was on the edge of my seat while I was typing it. So I was like, oh, what's happening now? That's whoa! It was just like that's an amazing feeling when like a story surprises you as the writer. So I always leave enough flexibility for that to happen. So here we go. That's where it happened. And I mean, there was also a lovely little museum in Muka, which is worth popping into. And I discovered in that museum, looking at all these little photos and these videos that were playing and stuff, that all those barns you see, they're called cow houses or cow house. I can't remember how they said it. But that's what the barns are, because that's where they would bring the cattle in for the winter. A cow house. So there we go. I might use that phrase in a future book. Probably will. And that's how it happens, really. I just sort of pick these things up as I'm popping up and down to the dales and whatever. So yeah, that's that. Now, I was just about to read some of the comments because someone said, Muka is fab. My dad's cousin was Methodist minister there many years ago. Really, Jill? No way. That's amazing. Wonder when that was. Because obviously my dad was Methodist minister over in Hawes, 81 to 86. That's brilliant. I've got someone called Thorsten Ibbs watching. What an amazing name. Thorsten Ibbs. Love that. Right. Shall I read? I'm not very good at this. Because obviously Aubrey is the king of reading Grimm. I mean, he is the voice. But more on Aubrey in a bit. I will read an extract as best as I can. It's not going to be great. But are we sitting comfortably? Let's have a bit of beer. He knocked it over. That would be bad. That's very good. Right. Extract from Bad Deeds. And it's not going to give anything away, which is why this is how I always choose them. So I will begin. Arriving at the hospital in Northallerton, Harry and Matt were soon on their way through a maze of corridors to track down someone who knew something about Mike. I really don't like hospitals, Matt muttered as they doubled back, having taken a wrong turning after attempting to follow directions from a nurse. No one does, said Harry, trying to work out where they'd gone wrong while doing his best to stay out of the way of patients, visitors, and staff bustling around the place. He felt like he was in a giant ant's nest, hurried along by the pressure of everyone else racing towards their own destinations. Joan spent a lot of time here, Matt explained. You know, when she got ill like. Terrifying time it was for us both, but that time together it only made me love her even more. Impossible not to, really. Harry took a left. You're a lucky man, Matt, he said. Matt laughed, and the sound seemed to relish bouncing down the hallway. Aye, and she tells me that every day. You need reminding? Of course I don't. Harry stopped, checked a sign. This way. You sure about that? Not in the slightest. Harry crashed through double doors, spotted a reception desk and jogged over. DCI Grimm, he said, doing his best to sound friendly, calm, approachable, though he knew his face often gave the opposite impression. The young man on reception stared up at him, his eyes clearly hardwired to a special part of his brain focused entirely on making him look utterly disinterested. It was a relief to Harry to have someone not look at him wide-eyed in horror. We're looking for someone who's been recently admitted. Car accident. Came in on the air ambulance. Name? I've already told you my name. The receptionist's eyes narrowed just enough to really focus his disinterest by adding in a good helping of disdain. Of the patient. Harry sucked in a sharp breath, exhaled slowly. The inflection he'd heard at the end of what the reception had just said had immediately got under his skin. Mike, he said. Mike? Harry heard the pause, turned to Matt. What's Mike's surname? Well, I've no idea, replied Matt. But you must know. Why must I? I just know him as Mike. Everyone knows him as Mike. A lot of folk in the Dales are only known by whatever nickname they were given as a kid, so in many ways he's lucky. Harry couldn't believe that neither of them actually knew Mike's full name. Look, he said, forcing a smile, then taking out his police ID. This is me, right? I'm a detective chief inspector. The receptionist managed to eye the ID without moving his head. It gave Harry the unnerving impression he was being dealt with by a ventriloquist dummy which had somehow come to life. My guess and hope, I might add, is that you've not been inundated with patients arriving by helicopter. So if you could, would you please just help me out here? The receptionist turned his attention to a computer terminal at his side. We have one arrival as you described, he said. And? In surgery currently. And you won't be able to visit him for a good while after that either, for obvious reasons. Define a good while. Hours. Can you be more specific? The look Harry received in reply told him that the receptionist was very much considering a reply laced with sarcasm. Instead, all he got was a simple, I'm sorry, no. Harry sighed and turned away from the receptionist to pace for a moment around the waiting area. He shook his head, not to disagree with Matt, but in disappointment at himself. Could be the rest of the day, he said, as a man walked past, heading towards the double doors that led back out into the corridor. I should have checked. Harry saw that the DS's attention was now drawn by the man about to leave through the doors. He was shuffling as he went, walking as though carrying a heavy pack on his back. John? The man stopped, turned round, and Matt raised a hand in a wave that didn't want to be noticed. The man was early 60s, Harry guessed, with the telltale signs of a bald patch catching the light. Dressed in various shades of brown and beige, his clothes were creased and looked almost as tired as his eyes. John! The man turned round, stared at Matt. Matt? He made no attempt to move away from the doors, instead holding the handle of one as though to let go would be to have him crash to the floor. Matt walked over, and with little else to occupy him, Harry followed. What are you doing here, John? Everything okay? Harry watched as the man lifted tired eyes to Matt's face, glanced at him briefly, and then shook his head. So there you go, he says. Like, that was really well read. It wasn't bad, was it? You've noticed my accent's not the best. Sometimes I do Northern. Okay. Sometimes Harry doesn't quite know where he's from, and then suddenly a sort of a West Country accent comes in, and it buggers off. I find it's... who knows why. But there we are. A little extract from slightly later in the book, not from the beginning. Obviously something has happened to Mike. Mike the mechanic. We don't know what that is, because I'm not going to tell you. You have to find out by reading the book. And they got them, Matt and Harry, at the hospital to find out what's going on, and then someone else comes past that Matt recognises, and something's going on there. So that's what I kind of like to do, is like to have these threads, and then somehow they, I don't know, they cross and mingle, and it all gets a bit confusing. Particularly for my brain, it gets very confusing. So there we are. I hope that was interesting. Was it? I hope so. Hope you're intrigued. Hope you really want to watch it. Watch it. Imagine that. If I was announcing that, the TV series of Grimm. But I'm not. But I do hope you enjoyed reading the book. That's that bit. I will now tell you a few other interesting things. I'll have a drink though. Oh, just on this, there was a rumour that this might be showing in the Fountain in Hawes. If it is, that's hilarious, and hello everyone. If it isn't, well, we'll sort it out for the next time. So yeah, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it? Me on screen. Sorry about that, to anyone who's watching. But anyway, mine's playing Gamekeeper, by the way. Thank you. Once I've finished this one. Right, so announcements, news. First one, Wakefield Library event. I haven't done like a library event for a really long time, but Wakefield Library contacted us and said, would I like to do an event? I said, yes, that would be fun. Let's do it. It's been confirmed. So it's being held at the Stanley Library in Wakefield on the 12th of September at 12, midday, 12:12, which is grand. Even I can't forget that. So I'll be there. There's going to be me being interviewed by the library people and whatever, and I'll be doing a book signing. So all that kind of stuff will be really nice. Apparently 48 people have already signed up. I mean, that's brilliant. And so tickets are running out. So if you're in the area and you want to go, you kind of need to keep an eye on, the newsletter and stuff, or give them a call, whatever. But there's not many left. So as I said, check the newsletter. There's a link in that, and we'll do another announcement in the next newsletter as well, just so you're aware. But yeah, if you can come along, it'd be great. There are 48 people there already. Well, they're now. It's not. I mean, I'm not that big. They're camping out. Can you imagine that? What are you doing here in that tent? Oh, I've heard Dave Gatwood's going to be here in like 3 weeks. What do you think? Is it going to be all right? That would be like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. But yeah, so yeah, Wakefield Library event on the 12th. Really looking forward to that. And we're also going to have a bookstore there called Darling Reads. And Laura from that bookstore, Laura from Darling Reads, will be there with a load of books, including Bad Deeds, signed. And I'll be there signing and all that kind of stuff. So I'll be there for a chat, an interview, signing books. Bring your books that you've already got, you want signing if you can make it. I'm happy to do all that. Yeah, and if you've actually happened to have bought a Grimm t-shirt or something, or a hat, whatever, turn up wearing it. Brilliant. That's that announcement. Next announcement. Well, before that, I think we should have a little bit of word about Aubrey. Hands up, who thinks Aubrey's amazing? He's absolutely astonishing. I mean, I lucked out completely with Aubrey because I didn't know what the voice of Grimm was until I heard Aubrey's voice. It's like, there it is. So, hide him. And he's done a phenomenal job. And he's not just become the voice of it, he's really become part of the Grimm community, which I love. He's really entered into it. His first trip to Hawes, he didn't announce it. He just turned up, he booked in at the fountain and then signed himself in as Harry Grimm. Love that. So he's a real big part of this, a big part of the community. And as we all know, has been announced and everything, and we've told you and whatever, Aubrey's commented as well, is that Aubrey's been ridiculously ill, ludicrously ill. So we've all been very, very concerned about him. So this is a bit of a shout out to Aubrey. We all love you, mate. We think you're brilliant. Don't do anything stupid. Rest, relax, get yourself well. That's not just from me. It's not just from it's not just from Mandy and the crew at the fountain. It's from every single person who reads Grimm. And the Grimm team. Harry, Matt, the rest of them, because they live in our minds. And they're all thinking of you. So yeah, look after yourself, get well. And on that's why there's been a little bit of a delay for the Bad Deeds audiobook, which I think is fair. Aubrey's like close to finishing, I think. He's done a fair bit of it, but obviously he's been ill, so we've had to delay that. And I think that's fair enough. And I think we're all patient enough, aren't we? To wait for Aubrey to be able to do it, because he's the only person who can, and he's the only person who ever will. It's as simple as that. He is the voice of Harry. So as soon as he's well enough, we'll get that finished, we'll get it uploaded, and everyone will know. It's just going to be a little bit late, not too much, nothing to worry about. You'll just have to be patient. And you know what? If you can't be patient, read it. Just get the ebook, get the paperback, and then when the audio comes out, get that as well. I speaking to someone today who was so excited about Bad Deeds coming out. He does both the paperback and the audiobook, every single one, both of them. That's proper dedication. So if you're that excited, you can't wait, read the paperback or get the Kindle and then listen to it later. It's a different experience as well. There you go. That's me telling you, isn't it? So let's move on from that to the next announcement, which is the Grimm event. Oh, should get a trumpet, shouldn't I? Because that doesn't sound anything like one. Right, going to confirm it is the weekend of October 12th. We just checked that is actually a date, and I haven't just made it up like a fool. October 12th. October 11th, 12th. That's correct. That weekend will be the Harry Grimm event. Very exciting. We are going to have tickets for sale about a month before. So don't start phoning me, not that you can. Don't start phoning Mandy and demanding tickets, because you can't. Because there aren't any yet. Because we're going up to confirm everything in a couple of weeks. Chat with Mandy, sort a few things out, confirm everything. And once we've confirmed everything, that'll be it. You can buy the tickets. And then it's only a small number like last time. I can't remember, is it 50 or 60? There's not many. Because it's a small venue, and we also like to keep it small, and that's really fun. You have lots of people who turn up and meet old friends, but it's nice to have new people turn up, and we're trying to do it a little bit different, because you don't want me saying the same thing every time. We'll have the the Cockets there and Wensleydale Brewery and all that kind of stuff. So, and it's a great opportunity just to get to the Dales, do the tour, because there's the two driving tours. There's the walk around halls as well in Gale. There's loads of footpaths. It's just use it as an excuse to get up there. And You know what? Even if you aren't able to get a ticket, because like I said, there's not many. If you don't, you can still just go to halls. You know, come and say hello, have a pint in the fountain. I'll be there. People will be there. Who knows? That's what happened last time. I bumped into a few people who hadn't been able to go to the event, and I think I bumped into them over in outside the Green Dragon, walking up to Hardra Falls. So yeah, that's what's happening with that. We'll be announcing that. Well, putting the tickets up for sale about a month before, and it'll be definitely on that weekend. So the 11th, 12th of October. Be there. It's going to be fun. I'm rather excited about it. Anything else do I have to announce? No, that's it. I think that's not been too bad. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to check Facebook, see if I've got any questions or any of that kind of stuff. Here we go. Nothing yet. Well, I'm gonna have to have a word with Facebook. Sit them down, have a little chat, because it's all a bit weird. But yes, that's it. This is Bad Deeds, out on the 31st of October, 4 days away. This will be in your hands. So this paperback, not this specific one. You can't order this. This is mine. So you can order it now, and it will turn up and ready for the weekend, ready for the official launch, which is 31st of October, which is when the ebook lands. So I really hope you love this one. It's a lot of fun. It's different to the others. It is. You're not going to be expecting this. I wasn't. I really wasn't. Certainly not the ending. It was like, ooh. And there's a few things in there that are like, oh, that's exciting. Oh, so yeah, there we go. This is out 31st of October. I've read you a little extract to get you all excited about it, and I'm having a beer to celebrate. Book 21 of the DCI Harry Grimm series. He's come of age. So thank you all. I really appreciate the support. You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to crack on with writing book 22, as well as finishing the next Gauzy book and sorting another few things out, because, I've got things to do. Look after yourselves. I really hope you enjoy the book. Bye.